Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast. I'm Jason Abrams, and this is the place where we lift the curtain on the world of real estate like never before. Every week, I sit down with visionaries, pirates, and mavericks. We're here to document, demonstrate, and most importantly, demystify their game-changing models and systems. What secrets propel them to the top? And how are they living their dreams? This is about passion, it's about strategy, but above all, it's about real, tangible success. So buckle up and let's dive in. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast. Mom, Dad, I want to be a star. Have you ever said that? Did you ever say that to your parents? Do your little ones say that to you? You know, friends, we're living in a different era right now. We're living in the attention economy. And you are either gaining attention or you are giving it. Said differently, influence might be the new currency. And you're either influencing others or you are being influenced. This is what social media has done to the planet. So let's get together and talk about it at the highest level possible. Friends, today you are going to hear from the man who literally wrote the book on all things YouTube. He's had over 500 million views of his videos. He runs multiple business channels, and he has figured out how you can go and build an incredible local and loyal audience. I'm speaking about none other than Sean Cannell. You know, here's what the difference between this show and every other podcast that talks social media will be. Today, we are going to tell you exactly how to build your audience. We're going to be succinct and we are going to be tactful. Friends, sit back and buckle up. This is Sean Cannell. Sean, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Jason. Thank you so much for having me.
It is an honor to have you. Now, usually we start by saying, how did you end up in the greatest industry in the world? And of course, that's the real estate industry. With you, though, you are one of the most, if not the most famous people we've ever had on the show because you've had over 100 million views of your YouTube videos. So, Sean, how did you become a household name?
I'm just as surprised as you are. You know, I actually think now the updated numbers between a couple different channels is over 4 million subscribers, over 500 million views. But I'm a small town kid, college dropout, and I actually just started filming videos for my local church. I was serving in our youth ministry. There was like 10 kids there, and the youth pastor handed me a camera with mini DV tapes in it, like an old camera, some software that was on CD-ROM, CDRs, Adobe Premiere, like version 1.0, and said, hey, start making videos for the youth group. And they weren't for the internet. They were actually just to play Wednesday nights to talk about announcements and stuff. But that's how I got into video. And then in 2007, we actually started a YouTube channel for the pastor of the church. It was called a video blog with a B. These like daily episodes that we did for a while. And that was 2 years after YouTube started. So, you know, fast forward to today, I've been doing video for mathematically 22 years and YouTube for like 18. And I just kept doubling down. And I've done it in all kinds of diverse industries. I've done it kind of in the faith-based space. I've helped all kinds of real estate agents and service providers. I've made my own channels. And I just keep tripling down on video, as well as how to use video for leads and business and scripting behind the camera, in front of the camera. And I just think it's such a powerful opportunity for everybody listening.
I think it's very cool. So I want to dispel, we're going to get into a model and we're going to teach real estate agents how they can go build incredibly powerful channels on YouTube and social media in general. But before we get there, I want to go right at all the reasons people don't do it. So you teach scores of humans how to do it, and I'm willing to bet that the majority of the audience doesn't leave, go start a channel, you come back a year later, and they've reached their maximum potential in life. Sean, what keeps people from doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's many things. I think probably the biggest one is fear. It's like fear of getting on camera. I mean, Jason, do you remember back when we had answering machines, the physical ones?
I do.
You called home, you left a message for your parents, but you beat them home And so you listen to yourself and you're like, is that what I really sound like? You like heard your voice for the first time kind of. And I think that's sort of how we feel. It's like, man, am I going to get on camera? Is that what I like look like and sound like? And I feel awkward. And I actually think we're actually a lot more critical of ourselves than others are. But I think it's just the fear of getting out there, fear of punching, fear in the face, getting on camera. Now, if it's not that, I think it's the I'm too busy. And that's a legitimate thing to bring up. I mean, everybody listening to this, they got a long to-do list. You've got family pressures. You've got prospects you need to follow up with. You've got paperwork to do. But at the same time, I think it's the next one is a doubt in the ROI. And that's a good question, because if you are going to invest some time in this, and if you are going to get uncomfortable, and if you are going to start punching fear in the face, pressing record, getting on camera, you want to know that there's going to be an ROI there. So I think it's like there's legitimate concerns, but I think the way to answer those is with truth. You know, fear is false evidence appearing real. So what's the truth? The truth is you got to get on camera and you got to start before you're ready. You got to start messy. Everybody, they're not good at the start. You know, your first videos are going to be your worst videos. The only way you get to be a confident communicator is being a terrible communicator at the beginning, just knowing that it's like riding a bike. So it's sort of like you got to just punch fear in the face and get over FOPO. And I said FOPO, that's FOPO, not FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out, you know, like, there was that cool party I wasn't invited. Except for when you're 41 like me, being uninvited is like great. You're like,
It's the greatest thing ever.
Canceled plans. Like I just get to relax a little bit and stay home. Like this sounds amazing. But I'm not talking about the fear of missing out. I'm talking about FOPO, the fear of other people's opinions. It's when we just get over like, it doesn't matter whether imagined or real. It doesn't matter what my competitors think, what other people think. Doesn't matter what people think about me. I want to grow my business. I want to change more lives by helping people get into the right home. So I think it's getting over the fear of other people's opinions, pressing record. I think it's about realizing that you're really not too busy. It's just going to be a priorities thing and everything is figure outable. It's a time management thing. And then the ROI question is that there is a return on investment for agents, for real estate professionals to use video. It's low cost. I've got a smartphone already. I can start today. There's leads and prospects waiting on the other side. There's a personal brand to build. I could be a local authority. And getting proper data and realize that was a lot of false evidence. The truth is, YouTube is a massive opportunity. Social media is a massive opportunity. And it's just waiting for me to seize it.
Well, unpack that for me, because you're going down a line of thinking that I really like. Make the business case for me to be on social media and to spend my time doing YouTube if I'm a top real estate professional. Because this audience, they're the most productive real estate agents on the planet. That's who listens to this show. It's the People's Podcast. Tell them why they should give this an open mind.
Yeah, you know, we recently were talking at the Keller Williams event and we were talking about stats. And off the top of my head, it's like, people are preferring real estate agents that use video. They want to see listing videos. They're looking on YouTube, especially when they're relocating, and they're really using YouTube to look for information. But only 9% of agents are actually tapping into video. So I think the big light bulb moment is that this is still a blue ocean. This is still a big opportunity. And you might look up and you're like, oh, there's like 1 or 2 or 3 other people in my city. I know in some places it's more saturated. The crazy thing though is in some places there's nobody. Like I'm here in the Pacific Northwest as we talk. In Snohomish County, it's around 1 million people. King County, closer to Seattle, it's a couple million people. Like I can count on less than 2 hands how many people are consistent on YouTube. If you want to talk about consistent, it's like one person. His name's Zach. Like I've studied it. And so in millions of people, tens of thousands of agents, and almost nobody's doing YouTube, not a lot of people are really leaning into this. So I think it's seeing that there's still a wide open opportunity. I think the other thing to realize is like, how many transactions do you really need? Like, what is in real estate, the return on investment? We're not trying to go viral here. It's not about getting 1 million views. It's about getting one right view.
Dude, that is such a big idea, because you just nailed on the 2 things that I think keep people from doing it outside of fear and the other 2 that you mentioned, which is I think there's this idea that they've missed the boat. That like because they didn't start when AOL was still a thing, that they've somehow missed it. And now all of it is taken. And they know the name of the 1 or 2 agents in their market that are doing it. And they say, well, I can't do that. Jimmy has it or Sarah has it. That's wildly absurd.
100%. Just because there's two people, it's like some people, they're maybe looking for a woman they resonate with, somebody that's maybe a little older, maybe somebody they can connect with in regards to ethnicity. It's like, just put yourself out there. That's the way this thing works. And you don't need, let's get to thousands of transactions, but what happens if we just get 5 or 10 this next year in addition to, as well as the ancillary benefits though? Just more awareness, more top of mind, building your well, digging your well before you're thirsty. Because this isn't just a transactional game of what can we get in the next few months. That's great. But it's what kind of brand and personal brand can we build over the coming years to position ourselves as a local authority, as a micro internet celebrity. And we have this opportunity, maybe listeners, they don't got a budget to put their face all over buses and all over truck stops, or bus stops, and to put out this marketing. But YouTube is this free opportunity on the other side of just the strategy and the action that you put in to grab a little market share. It's an opportunity. It's where people's attention is. And as they start to show intent on these social media algorithms, that they're looking about real estate, they're looking at home prices, they're looking at home tours, then you start showing up at people's algorithms and catch their attention. And next thing you know, they start following you. And next thing you know, you can start cultivating your relationship and do business. So 100%, it's the thing to lean into right now.
Perfect. That's great. Friends, you know what time it is. It is time for us to switch gears. We have just made the argument for you for social media, and especially video and YouTube. We are now going to break down the model. So if you're driving 100 miles an hour in the Tesla, don't take notes. We're taking the notes. They come out every Thursday, and they come to your email. If you don't get them, go to MREAnotes.com. That's MREAnotes.com. Sign up, and we send you the notes every Thursday. Sean, I want to start with an idea, and then I'm going to kick you off. You wrote the book, YouTube Secrets. I have the updated second edition here. It's fantastic, by the way. And on page 49, you lay out a simple premise around finding your zone. You say that, and picture this, friends, as 3 intersecting circles with success in the middle, that it's the combination of passion, proficiency, and profit. And if you can live in the intersection of that, you're going to be successful. I can't stop thinking about it. I think that's genius. What did you mean when you wrote it?
It is a framework that is tried and true. And it's the 3 elements you need, because if you only have 2 of the 3 elements, if you just have passion and proficiency, but there's not a way to make money, then you have a hobby. If you just have proficiency and profit, but you're not passionate about it, you probably burn out because you're like, man, I don't love this. Like, I could do this, but I don't love this. And if you just have the financial opportunity, profit, and passion, but not the proficiency, well, you're not going to do very well on YouTube or in business in general. And so it's a matter of finding your sweet spot in the center of all 3.
That's exactly what I was hoping you were going to say, because for you sitting out there in the realtor multiverse, you are passionate about this, you're highly proficient, and you make a lot of money doing it. So you literally are sitting in the sweet spot of why anyone would do YouTube and how to have success. So once you get there mentally, the next question becomes, okay, I'm going to wake up tomorrow, Sean, and I'm going from never make a video to 2 years from now, I want to be the biggest thing since sliced bread in my city. Tell me exactly how to do it.
I would recommend making vertical videos to start. So a vertical video, the way that we scroll on our phones, and the powerful opportunity here is, number 1, you already have the tech you need. You've got a smartphone. Number 2, you can flip it into selfie. Just like you FaceTime your friends, your family, your kids, you can just hit record. And I would make videos that are under 90 seconds. And my framework for the video would be grabbing individuals' attention. We talked about the 3 Ps at the recent Keller Williams event, and that was prepare, that was press record, and then post. And so how do you prepare? I want to grab their attention, I want to teach something, and then I want to give a call to action. So I would shoot really as many vertical videos as I could do a week, but let's start with, 1. And so I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to prepare ahead of time and maybe jot down, okay, what do I want to do here? So the easiest way to do this is think about what are the most frequently asked questions you get as a realtor. Is now the right time to buy? Should I buy or should I wait? And you can make that video every month because people are always wondering, hey, it's a new month. Hey, are you wondering, is now the right time to buy at insert city, wherever you're at, maybe a county, maybe a more even niche, localized area. Is now the right time to buy in Snohomish County? In this video, I want to talk about 3 reasons why you should buy right now and 2 reasons why you should wait. That might be too many reasons for a 90-second video, but ultimately, you're going to think about, how do I grab attention? You're imagining this video going through someone's feed, and you're going to be calling out, hey, and start with answering specific questions. So it also could be something like, how much house can I qualify? And you maybe just break down a quick framework for how much house could I buy based on my income. Here's a simple, based on interest rates, how much is that affecting payments? There's just endless topics you could talk about. One topic, one video. And so prepare a little bit, deliver the information. You want to grab attention, teach in the middle, and then give a call to action. And this is really key. And hey, by the way, if you're interested in working together, shoot me a DM. If you're interested in connecting, click the link in my bio. If you're interested in working together, shoot me a text. My phone number is 555-2121, and give that invitation. And what I like, actually, if I had one favorite call to action, the phone number would be my favorite. Just get them straight into your text message inbox. Start talking. Let's get on the phone. Let's make a deal. But there's lots of opportunities that you have there. And then here's why I recommend this. I know this is a YouTube podcast. I know YouTube is the theme, but the biggest opportunity for realtors listening is any following at all they have on their existing social media platforms. So I'm going to take that vertical video. I'm going to upload that on my Facebook personal page, which listeners should turn to professional mode, assuming you get a little bit more reach, more analytics, and your current 50 friends or 500 friends on Facebook. Now you have a video, maybe somebody in that group is looking to buy or sell, that video can get in front of them. But this phone video you just recorded could also be uploaded to your fan page on Facebook. It's gonna be an interesting checklist, but we have that. Maybe your realtor office, maybe like the brand, the individual, if you have one of those. Now, if you have a TikTok, I'm not saying you should start one, but you could upload it there as well. And you could upload it to Instagram and YouTube Shorts. Now, this might be like, this doesn't sound like the beginner thing. This sounds like there's a lot to do, but keep in mind.
It doesn't. We're talking about a 90-second video.
90-second video, you're uploading it multiple places. So you're taking one piece of content and you're leveraging it. And the reason it's under 90 seconds is it'll fit everywhere. It'll fit on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, which could be up to 3 minutes. TikTok could be a lot longer, but the one video can fit everywhere. Plus people's attention spans. Like, it's kind of a nice challenge to help you communicate your ideas in a concise way. Maybe you give it a shot. Version 1, I talked a little long. Version 2, I kind of stumbled. Well, maybe you shoot it 3 times. It's going to help you improve as a communicator. Now, I will say this, download the app CapCut, and they have a auto captions feature. So as soon as you're done recording, you just throw the video in there, you press auto captions, and it'll translate what you're saying verbally, 99% accuracy. And if you need to change a word, you can. And if you want to leave the misspelling, I actually would not overthink it. But I know for some listeners, they're like, no, I would never put out a misspelling. Hey, do your thing. It's easy to change. And that's going to help with attention by having just the captions on screen. And you could figure this out. Even if you're like, I don't get tech at all, give it 15 minutes. You're going to feel comfortable with getting these captions. Export that video and you can upload it to all of these places. Now, again, there's some best practices around the words you put in the Instagram caption. And on YouTube, you need to write a title. So let me end this section with a story. So one of the characters that I talked about is a Keller Williams agent. He's in Marysville, Washington, an hour north of Seattle. His name's Anton Stetner, good friend of mine, my agent. When a couple houses I bought, he's always been my guy. And he's doing a lot of cool stuff. Not only has he built a team, and he's also doing some land development and investing, and he's doing all kinds of stuff in the Pacific Northwest. Well, he saw the opportunity to start creating content. So what he committed to doing about 3 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago, was he actually really challenged himself. He said, I'm going to post 1 vertical video per day.
Per day.
And I'm not going to overthink it, but for 6 months, and I don't know, I think he took the weekends off, but for 6 months, he's just like, I'm going to do this every single day. I mean, he didn't always feel inspired. And there were some times when he would do a video and post it. It would be like he'd be at the beach with the sunset and his dog was running around and he'd like film that. And I would text him. I'd be like, Anton, this has nothing to do with anything. Like, and by the way, I want to encourage people if they're like, wow, this burger looks so amazing. I'm gonna make a video over my lunch. Like, it's not even that harmful. Maybe somebody else that follows you, like they love burgers so much, like they want to work. Like those videos aren't bad per se, but keep this in mind. Business is business. Like you want to deliver value on social media. So I'll be like, hey, that dog video is probably not going to help you. But I'm still glad. I mean, he committed to a daily video. So whether he had something to say about interest rates or whether he just kind of pontificated, he just hit record, talked, turned it off, made these short videos. And he had a Keller Williams, who was working at like the front desk, would help tee up stuff. He actually ended up buying a second phone. He just upgraded his phone to the newest one, took his old Samsung Galaxy and just dedicated that to recording content. Maybe he filmed in his Jeep. Maybe he held the phone out front of the office. And maybe he had one of his guys hold the phone and he stood there with both hands and he talked to them, just whatever it was every day. He just challenged himself. And that individual, he trained to quickly make the video on CapCut and then post it on the different platforms. So it's something you could delegate that once you film it, you could just get the system going with somebody that you're working with. But he also said, you know what? From studying your stuff, Sean, and I actually kind of realized there's kind of an art form to how you post the content. So a lot of times, once I was done with my day's work, I would sort of sit down and turn on the news. And it took me about 30 minutes to post on every platform. And I'd just sit on the couch, open my phone, and I'd open up TikTok and I'd post the video there, and I'd open up YouTube Shorts, I'd post the video there. And I would kind of like save, in most cases, the title is going to be the same everywhere, but there are some nuances to the platform. Like Instagram doesn't have a title, TikTok and YouTube does. So you sort of will just get familiar. And for all the maybe like, wow, that sounds complex, you're going to learn by doing it. Like you don't like biceps and pecs from reading about push-ups or listening to a podcast about push-ups. You get the guns by actually doing push-ups.
This is why, by the way, it hasn't worked for me. I've been listening my ass off, Sean, and I don't have the pecs.
100%. I've bought infomercial stuff. I've bought books about it. I bought some programs. I bought some supplements. But it turns out I haven't actually done any push-ups, and so the results haven't come. And so that's what's kind of true here. And so here was Anton's mindset, and this is the winning mindset. This daily challenge that I'm doing for myself, and listeners, you could make it a couple times a week or once a week. It's way more about how this is going to transform me first than it is about how it's going to transform my business or bring me leads, sales, and clients. I mean, come on, these first few months, you're kind of practicing, getting the hang of things, getting familiar with things. And here's what happened. Eventually, it's just going so fast. Whoop, open the app, do the thing. It became this routine and it built his confidence. But then what happened was that as the months compounded, I'd say, Anton, what's happened? He said, people are mentioning, hey, I saw your stuff. I watched that video. He'd do a showing. And then somebody'd be like, I've watched 3 or 4 videos already. Like I actually learned a lot from already watching. And there was authority there. There was credibility there. You know, all different ages, but millennial home buyers are just familiar with these social platforms. So they check people out. It's kind of like we go to Yelp and we go to the social media accounts, we go to Google listings, we check people out online. So just having a presence there, having some valuable information. And by the way, even having your dog at sunset or your lunch, it's this person, you know, it's a human. What I'm recommending first is stick with vertical videos that essentially could be posted on every platform. It's a leveraged activity. And I know as a real estate investor myself, as somebody, I love leverage. I'm thinking about appreciation. I'm thinking about tax write-offs. I'm thinking about all these things. So this is leveraging your time to make just one vertical video posted in multiple places, grow your skill set. And then it's one of the best ways that I think translates into making maybe more complex content later.
Okay. I love that. So I get phase 1 completely. Now I'm doing it. It's crushing. And by that, I mean, I'm doing it. That's my definition of crushing in this case.
Yes.
I'm doing it because I believe that if I do it every day and I give this enough time, it's going to work. Now tell me about phase 2.
Yeah. So phase 2, and let's talk about why I love YouTube the most. The reason I love YouTube the most is because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And because people are going to YouTube looking for answers to specific questions, such as pros and cons of moving to Snohomish County. Right now, I'm in Marysville, Washington. Pros and cons of Marysville, Washington. They're also looking for, next to me is Everett. Everett versus Marysville, Washington. So there's people that are looking for these specific questions. And the truth is that long form videos on YouTube, what does long form mean? It means not vertical, but horizontal, proper videos. And long form, I mean, it could be as short as, call it 4 minutes, but usually like educational, 6 minutes to 12 minutes to 20 minutes, answering a question or building out a topic. There are, 10 reasons why you should move to Austin, Texas, and one reason why you shouldn't. That's a great title. And here's the difference between short form content and long form content. Short form content is good to get a quick hit. We were talking about it earlier. It's a dopamine hit. People are scrolling. So they see your face. They're like, oh, that's right. Maybe I do want to buy or sell later. They notice you, but they're going to scroll past pretty quick. And then they're on to a dancing cat. And then they're on to, some viral trending clip and something that's distracted. And then a comedian. And so anybody who scrolled last night, before you went to bed, whatever platform, you were just kind of looking for something funny, the stuff you're DMing your friends. Here's a good question. What shorts did you watch last night? In fact, even better question, Jason. Last week, can you tell me 5 people in 5 shorts or vertical videos on Instagram? Like, can you tell me what you watched or what you listened to?
No, it was all going by in a blur. I can put it into buckets because it's serving me up cooking snippets and video gaming snippets and like the 7 other things I'm interested in, but I can't give you the names of any of the folks.
The difference being, though, if you listen to like a longer form YouTube video, it could be very impactful. Speaking about branding, I just listened to Caleb Ralston talking to Chris Do on The Future yesterday. It was actually an hour-long video podcast. I'm able to bring that up. It was a rich conversation. There was depth there. There was connection there. There was stories there. And that's really the truth of short form versus long form content. Short form is kind of like samples, but it's kind of like empty calories. It's kind of like they kind of come quick. You get the dopamine hit, but you forget it the next day. Long form builds relationship. Long form builds connection. Long form builds a trust and a bond. And this ties into a study that Google did when it comes to a customer making a purchase online called the 7-11-4 rule. And it was this idea that people need to spend 7 hours with you, 11 touch points, 4 platforms. Sounds like a lot, but the power of social media and YouTube is this: 7 hours. It's going to take a long time to spend 7 hours with you if they're only watching 30-second to 90-second short form clips. But if you put out a video where you sit at your computer, open up a Zoom screen, record it, and upload that to YouTube. And what you do is you upload maps. You share your screen and you show Google Maps and you show different regions and you show the schools and you talk about crime rates and you can make a really rich video. And they're like, man, they just broke down. Like, they really helped my husband and I narrow down the content, the connection. Well, that could be an hour-long video. It's more rich. It's more depth. And you answer so many of my questions. Okay, that could be 1 hour. Now, 11 touch points means I watched a few videos, text you, hey, I'd like to get in touch, but then you get ghosted. Agents right now are thinking about like how many people I think they just never text me back. But you never know. Sometimes they come back around. And one of the reasons they might come back around is that conversation started, but they got distracted, or they're sort of just like throwing some texts out there, but they know like they're really not moving or not sure if they want to move yet, or they're not sure what they can afford. So by staying top of mind, this is why actually posting content on multiple platforms is good, because it's 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 platforms. So what that might look like is some longer form YouTube videos. It might look like some text message. That'd be a touch point. Each video is a touch point. Maybe an Instagram vertical video and then a YouTube video. Those are all touch points. The 7-11-4 rule is 7 hours spent with you online. 11 touch points. Maybe they got on your email newsletter or they filled out a form and they talked to somebody on your team and eventually talked to you. These are all different touch points, touches. And then 4 platforms could be YouTube, email, text, and Instagram. And what happens, now imagine this, and there's been so many studies done. This is the art of people getting like basically prepared to, like by the time they're ready to buy a house from you, the transaction closes so quickly. A lot of the people that watch our stuff, they go, man, somebody reaches out. They're like, listen, I've already watched like all your YouTube videos. Can you send me the DocuSign? People have closed deals not meeting in person because of YouTube, but they're like, I basically already feel like I know you. And maybe, or they get together and like, hey, listen, trust is accelerated. I've been watching you online. It's so nice to meet you in person. Oh yeah, you've actually already answered a lot of my questions. And so even if sometimes it's maybe somebody already discovered you, it helps deals close faster because of trust. And I actually recently I heard this really powerful 4 things. Here's 4 things marketing does to prepare for sales. It gets people pre-interested, pre-qualified, pre-motivated, and predisposed. Pre-interested, because they're capturing attention, learning about you. They're learning about, oh yeah, I do want to move to Everett, not Marysville. Pre-qualified. If you actually explained how much they can afford and whatnot, they're actually like, the loan docs are still coming through. They've already done a lot of research with you. Pre-motivated, they're pumped to work with you. They're learning about the region. You've alleviated some of their concerns. You've given them clarity. And then predisposed, positioning your brand, your offer. You're the go-to choice. So they're predisposed to working for you because no other agent was adding all that value on YouTube. No other agent was adding and answering their questions and their concerns and their fears and following up with them with this various content. This is what it looks like. When you're getting people pre-interested, pre-qualified, pre-motivated, and predisposed to work with you through content, your deal flow is increasing, the content is spreading. And so the long form content opportunity on YouTube is that 1 video a week that's well researched and answering something really powerful. Some of the best videos. People are always wanting to move to a new place. If they're coming to the Pacific Northwest, maybe they got an opportunity to work at Boeing. Maybe they got an opportunity to work at Microsoft. Amazon and Facebook are up here. So they're looking at Kirkland. They're looking at Bothell. They're trying to make decisions. And you're putting out videos about 10 reasons why. And the cool thing for agents is it can never be saturated and it can never be too crowded. And here's why. Because things change all the time. What do I mean? 2025 right now. So 10 reasons to move to Kirkland last year. I mean, a lot of it's the same, but people always want the newest update. So there's always something new to talk about. What's the current state? Market updates. What's the current state of the market in your local area? What are the pros and cons of certain areas? 10 things you need to know before buying a condo in Seattle. Different types of videos like that. And these rich, a little bit longer form videos. You might be able to just share it in 10 minutes. And let me encourage you. These don't have to be more complex per se than these vertical videos where we just press record. These videos could be as simple as you hit record on your phone. Maybe you're sitting in your car. You already have your phone mount because you have your phone up there for deal. You turn your phone mount horizontal, like a proper video. Maybe you take a legal pad out. You've written down the 10 things, like 10 things you need to know before moving to Ballard in Washington. And you just sort of say, hey, in this video, I want to share with you 10 things you need to know if you're thinking about buying a house, relocating, moving to Ballard. My name's Sean Cannell. My dream is to help you get into a house you love or sell a house and find your dream. All right, number 1. And you just deliver the information, talk through it, just like you're having coffee with a friend, coffee with a prospect, just like you're talking to somebody in person. Deliver the information. Make sure to give a verbal invitation for what people should do next, which the key point here is like, if you miss this, you kind of miss everything. Like articulate how they can get in touch with you. What email, what form do they need to fill out? Or can they just text message you or text message your team? And let's get the sales conversation going immediately. But also, what is interesting about, when I think about, they called it the law of 7 in marketing, that sometimes we watch 7 videos before we make a purchase. Sometimes we watch a lot of content. We need to hear the ad. The reason on radio, there's a jingle, it was like you heard the same jingle about Crest toothpaste. And then finally, when you were there at the aisle, you bought Crest toothpaste. It's like you putting it out there by just always reminding people, if you're ready to work with me, they may watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 videos before they finally reach out. So that's why you don't want to just start this strategy. You want to commit to this strategy, put 1 high quality, strategic, long form video out per week on YouTube that's meant to tap into the people searching for specific problems they have in your local area. That's what I would do if I'm a real estate agent in 2025 on YouTube.
It's genius. Is there any technology that I need that'll tell me what people are searching for, that'll put me closer to it? Or do I just wake up in the morning and say, what do I think people want to hear? Give me a couple of hacks. Is there a couple of tech hacks that are just cool? Because I loved CapCut. What else you got?
The biggest hack is go to YouTube itself on a desktop computer.
Okay.
and go to the search bar and start typing. Now, what happens, Jason, when I start typing in the YouTube search bar or the Google search bar?
It starts to autofill.
It starts to autofill. So really the one hack and there's others, you could get more fancy, but you don't need to get that fancy. For keyword search terms, go to the YouTube search bar and you could start with how to, and what you want to do, or, the city name, or start with real estate and then type the city. And you want to sort of learn to massage around the search term, what's in front of it, what's behind it. But here's the number one question. What are prospects actually typing in? Like if you get in there, what would you type in? Is this a good week to buy? What's happening now? What's inventory like? So that's, something to consider. Now, let's take it a little bit deeper. Google is the second place I would go, because you could go to Google and you could say Snohomish County market update. And if you type that in, what you can start looking for is there's this people also asked section on Google. Are home prices dropping in Snohomish County? That's a YouTube title. What is the PNW housing market prediction? That's a search title. What is the median price house of Snohomish County, Washington? That is changing all the time. So you could make that March 2025, April. Should I sell my house now or wait until 2025? That's a title. Why is Snohomish County so expensive? Those are video ideas.
I've done this with Sean before, so I knew that he was going to go right to the computer and start typing. What I wanted to illustrate was that if you're thinking that there's some super secret AI chatbot machine out there that you need, he just ran a Google search, and instead of looking at the search as if to give him the answer, he asked a different question. What can the search tell me about the other people searching for it? Sean, I think that's genius.
I like to think about it like this. You cannot steer a parked car. You got to get moving. Like minimum viable product. And we're giving it to you. Use smartphones. Start with vertical videos. Build your confidence up a little bit. Turn it horizontal. I love this idea of turning your car into a mobile YouTube studio. And agents listening, listen, someone might text you, hey, sorry, I'm running late. I'm actually going to be there in 15 minutes. You could film a video. And you could do it right in your car. It's daylight. And then your car is like a sound booth. It's already actually sounds pretty, you know what I mean? It's like noise all around you. You close the door, it's like door closes, then it's quiet. Now it depends on how nice your car is too. You got that really good insulated car, but you might be in a quieter neighborhood. You've got that phone mount that's on your dash or your windshield. Turn it horizontal, hit record, and then answer the question, are home prices dropping in Snohomish County? Insert your city. Maybe you just Google some things, get some information on your phone, copy it over, and then just deliver it. Just read some articles off. Maybe you got a second device, or just transfer the info, jot it down in your journal, deliver a quick video. And so we're giving you the motto, you cannot steer a parked car. Get moving and use the Google search bar, the information that comes up on that page. People also asked and people also searched. Use the YouTube search bar. Don't give up when you're looking at different angles, like try different angles, different cities, different counties, all the different, and start there and then realize there's levels to the game. Because once you get moving, yeah, we could do fancier stuff later, fancier gear. Fast forward to today, and Anton he rents a podcast studio. He's hired a team. And he's actually spending almost $50,000 a year, about $4,000 a month, on an editor that helps him and much nicer content. But the ROI is there. And that's after 3 years of building this up. And the ROI is there to his business. It tells you how well Anton's doing. He's doing multiple 6 figures a year and all kinds of transactions and building all this different stuff out. And I think 7, I don't know. And so ultimately, start before you're ready. Start simple. And then keep learning a little bit as you go.
It's fantastic, Sean. It's an absolute no-brainer. Last question. You're wildly successful. 500 million views. I mean, that just defies the way that I even think about it. My guess is you have plenty of money. You can live where you want to live. You can drive what you want to drive. You can go on vacation where you want. When I asked you to do this to help real estate agents, you literally said, I love real estate agents. Let's do it. And you just give so unabashedly about your time. You're such a friend to this industry. What keeps you getting out of bed when you could be on a yacht somewhere? What are you doing this for?
Yeah. I mean, I love what I do. And there is a quote that says, if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life. You know, I also don't agree with that quote. I work a lot of days in my life, and some days it's really hard. But of course, the big idea is like, if you can find the intersection of passion, proficiency, and profit, and I think I've done that. I'm passionate about online video and how it can change lives because it changed mine. I've developed competency at it. I found that it's a way to support my family and even give me options and choices and freedom. But if money was my number one motivator, I would have quit a long time ago and just sort of checked out. But I find so much joy in work productivity. And I think what keeps me going is kind of the climb. I'm much more into the game itself rather than the results. It's like the journey is more important than the destination. And while I love creating content, right now, Jason, our Think Media team is about 30 people. You know, we've got a team of leaders and we're raising up other leaders. This idea of teamwork, leadership development, one of my heroes, John Maxwell, says, leaders ask, how far can we go? And as a small town kid, college dropout, I remember back in the day, I thought if I ever made 6 figures a year, like stick a fork in me, I'm done. Like, which is an amazing milestone too. But I was like, that was as high as I could see. That was actually as far as I could see. And what I realized in my journey that every time I reached the top of a mountain, I realized I was at the bottom of a mountain range. I like the challenge. And that next challenge, I don't think it's bad maybe at some point to have self-awareness that I kind of like it here. And this is what I want to focus on. But for me, it's the challenge is how far can we go? And who else can I bring with me? I started making videos in my bedroom. There's 30 people here. We have a multi-million-dollar media company. And so I'm trying to steward what I have. And now it feels like a lot of responsibility, leadership pressure. I don't mind that. I'm grateful for that because I feel like it's a gift to work with some talented individuals at Think Media, the clients, the people we get to serve, the lives we get to change. And so I think that's what keeps me going. It's much more about impact, legacy, and sort of the difference we could make and enjoying the journey. And of course, being paid along the way well is nice because that gives you freedom and choices and a chance to reinvest, plant more so that you can make an even greater impact. And I'm just saying, man, how far could we go?
I love your heart. I love your mission. Thank you for everything you're doing. My people want to get into your world. Where can you send my folks if they want more of you in their head?
In this environment, the Think Media podcast would be the place to go. So if you're on audio, you can check out the Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen. It's called the Think Media podcast. That might be the best part of your weekly routine while you're following everything we taught. Having me in your ear to just help you with the small tweaks in YouTube strategy, a little bit each week. And so we have 2 episodes that come out a week on the Think Media podcast, and it's a video podcast as well on YouTube. And then other than that, I'm Sean Cannell everywhere. Sean Cannell rhymes with YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you like to be. And so that's SeanCannell on all the platforms. If you slide into my DMs, I'd love to help in any way I can. And so the Think Media podcast.
Which, by the way, little known secret, friends, we get the requests all the time. We want Jason to be interviewed. You will actually hear me on the Think Media podcast. Sean, I can't wait to be on the show.
Likewise, I can't wait. It's going to be a fun conversation. And then for readers, which I know readers are leaders, leaders are readers, YouTube Secrets. If people like audiobooks, YouTube Secrets, the 2nd edition is out now on Audible. If you throw in an Amazon Kindle or physical book. If you like books, that is a great book for anybody that's ready to start getting results in real estate with YouTube.
Brilliant. Sean, thank you for everything you're doing for the industry. Thank you for protecting realtors. We appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
I mean, doesn't he make it sound easy? I gotta tell you, it's because it is. Don't get mad at me. Don't start throwing tomatoes. Don't start steering into other lanes when I say it, because I'm not saying it's simple. I'm saying it's easy. I'm not asking you to go out and make 15 videos next week, learn how to do editing, figure out how to get trademark-free music, put all that together, and then do captions. He's just saying go out and start with a 90-second video filmed on your iPhone. You see, the fact of the matter is when the 3 intersections of profit, passion, and proficiency come together, you naturally end up with an audience. I think that's where the biggest confusion lies. People say, Jason, I'm really passionate about what I do. I love helping others. I'm good at it and I'm proficient, and I do like making a profit. What I don't know how to do is go build an audience. Friends, here's what I think you fail to realize that Sean got me to understand. if you have those other three things, and if you go out and start doing videos on a regular basis, the audience grows organically. You don't have to go find an audience because every single day there are people waking up asking the question, where can I get the information that I want to have in order to live a better life, make better decisions, and be wildly entertained? That's the question they're naturally asking. The only missing piece of this is you. You see, here's the truth. They're going to go run the searches to learn and watch videos on the things they're interested in, whether you go out and make a video or not. The only person losing in this equation is you if you fail to go take action on this. Start with one. Then do it consistently. I promise you, if you keep your head down and don't worry about it, what he's saying is it's almost a mathematical certainty based on the number of people searching and the number of people watching that you will be an overnight success that will take 1, 2, 3, 5 years to make. And friends, once you make it, your life will never be the same. You are a star. Go forth and do likewise. There it is. That wraps another episode. Friends, I don't know what you're taking out of this. I really don't. I'll tell you what I want you to be taking out of it, which is these are the people that are having tremendously big lives. And the reason it's happening is because they're setting up the models and systems to do just that. Gary Keller told me that leadership is teaching people how to think so that they do the things they need to do when they need to do them, so that ultimately they get the things they want when they want to have them. And that's what I want for you. You're all leaders, but it begins with leading ourselves. If you're enjoying this podcast, I want you to click the subscribe button anywhere that you get your podcasts. We want to be the voice in your head every single week, and every week we're dropping new content. We also send out a newsletter at the conclusion of every show to make sure that you get the highest points in the models and systems that were discussed. So if you want to sign up, I need your name and your email address. Head over to the millionaireagentpodcast.com. millionaireagentpodcast.com. Enter your name and your email address, and every week that newsletter will be in your box. Friends, you just went on a journey. I hope that what happens between now and the next time we meet is absolutely wonderful for you. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.
This podcast is for general informational purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions of the guest represent those of the guest and not Keller Williams Realty LLC and its affiliates, and should not be construed as financial, economic, legal, tax, or other advice. This podcast is provided without any warranty or guarantee of its accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or results from using the information. Warning: you must comply with the TCPA and any other federal, state, or local laws, including for B2B calls and texts. Never call or text a number on any do not call list, and do not use an auto dialer or artificial voice or pre-recorded messages without proper consent. Contact your attorney to ensure your compliance.